it's Yume. Welcome to my channel. And today I want to talk to you about Suzume no Tojimari by Makoto Shinkai. And this does contain spoilers. I really loved it. I watched it in the cinema and I love the little details of it. First of all, the visual animation and the colors are absolutely stunning. I really like the soundtrack as well. But beyond all of those, I think I really like the story and the message. So now I want to talk to you about like the details of and the message of Suzume no Tojimari. To put in context, the story of Suzume, the first scene, her home village, was located in the Miyagi prefecture. And in March 2011, Japan was hit by one of the strongest earthquake in its recorded history. So, and that earthquake hits in the Miyagi prefecture as well. So here we see that the story of Suzume is actually based on that true event where there was such devastation happening, and that brings weight to her story. Now, as we know, the story is about this girl, Suzume, trying to prevent natural disaster in Japan by closing up gates, because the gates here um, is where the worms or natural disasters trying to get to destroy the city, and she needs to close the gate, and if she managed to do that, then the disaster could be prevented. Now what I liked about this is that I like how the gates in the story are located in different cities and also in the bustling part of town, or what once a bustling part of town. The first gate was located in an onsen, like a community center-ish where people do bathe and like have a community there. And also the second gate was in school, so there's a lot of students there. And the third gate was in an amusement park. And now we know that all of those are abandoned now. But back then, before the destruction happens, before the natural disaster, those places are the heart of a town. And that contrast between what was once like bustling city center and now abandoned in each city, that really brings home how natural disaster can really strikes at any place, and it changes the whole landscape, the whole community completely. And it's also something close to home because like amusement park, schools, onsen, those are the places that we go. So I really like the setting of those gates. And secondly, I like how the process of closing the door. I thought it was very poetic. So how they closes the door is not just putting the key and locking it and just say the incantation. No, they need to close their eyes and like remember and reminiscences about the memories and catch glimpses of the people who live there. And it's an image of like how we pay respect to the memory of the people who lost their homes, of the people who lost their lives in those disasters. And I thought it's beautiful that every time Suzume needs to close the door in that area, she first needs to kind of like be one and uh, remember in her heart of all those people there. And another thing that I love is Suzume experienced kindness throughout her journey from one city to another city. Experienced kindness from like complete strangers. The first girl she met, the orange girl named Chika, however brief their friendship was, I thought it was very heartfelt and very genuine. And the second time, a stranger helped her was the mother of two kids and who's also a bar hostess. And it's also a realistic portrayal of an ordinary woman working in the city. And the third one is Shota's friend, Serizawa. He is also like a college student, like just ordinary beings. And this reminds me how like in the times of disaster, like how we see in the news, a lot of the Japanese actually like open their hearts, open their homes and stores to strangers who needs help. Like they give out free things, they help out even if they don't know them personally. And I just thought it's just very heartwarming. And the fact that all these people who are helping her are like essentially ordinary human beings, it's very heartwarming because then out of their kindness, they turn out to be heroes. Like they inadvertently and unknowingly helping Suzume, saving the world, and they themselves become heroes. And they unintentionally help saving the world from destructions just by showing them a random act of kindness. But what I really love is the main message of the story. Like, I would say the moral of the story, but anyway, the main message of the story. It's in the ultimate climax, Suzume needs to save Shota, and in order to save him, she needs to travel to her hometown in Miyagi, find her childhood door that she opened when she was a kid, enter it, and then closes it. And to do that in order to save him. And I thought it's the perfect symbolism on how she needs to face the past in order to save someone she loves. And it's quite a cute, smart metaphor. Like she needs to find closure of her past, like she needs to face her past traumatic self and find closure. And like literally closes the door of that past. And like you can't get any more literal than that. Like finding closure through closing the door of your past, actually closing the door of that gate until the gate disappears. And after she closes the gate, usually she says, I return to you when she used the key. But in this childhood gate, the first door, she say, "Ittekimasu,"
行ってきます。
which usually is a phrase being used when you leave the door to your outside your home and to leave for school, for work. You say "Ittekimasu" to the person inside, and it's like I'm going, and it's a goodbye, but it's quite a casual, nice goodbye, and it's like she's saying goodbye to her mother, to her childhood, but not to never return back again. It's a phrase used to like saying goodbye, but you know you will return. And it's a light-hearted phrase. And I thought it really symbolizes how she is moving on and saying goodbye. And in this case, we can see like the title of it, Suzume no Tojimari, or in English, Suzume's locking up, could actually be interpreted not just locking up doors and preventing destruction, but it's also like Suzume finding closure and locking up her past and finding closure of herself, and Suzume's moving on. And when I realized that, I was like, I thought it's the coolest thing. Now, one thing to criticize, I heard some people say, is that it seems Suzume seems too eager to like sacrifice herself so selflessly, so bravely, chasing the stores in like random locations, dangerous locations, and just to be so heroic. And this is not a shonen anime, they say, but I would like to remind you that Suzume herself is a victim and a survivor of such destruction. So she knows firsthand how devastating those things could be. And that's why I think one of her driving force to be able to like so bravely and drop everything and just help Shota to go and find the doors and clock them up. But I have to say, if there's one thing that bothers me about the story is the romance between Suzume and Shota, who spends most of his screen time as a chair, cute as that may be. I just thought there is no real romantic chemistry between them, or there wasn't enough time to establish that romance. Like, I would prefer it if Shota and Suzume actually spent more time together, like few days before he actually turned into a chair. And besides that, I think this whole thing would work even if they're just like friends. Platonic relationship works better, like comrade in arms, like nakama. They don't have to fall in love head over heels of each other. And because of that, I just think the part where Suzume say can't live with him because she's so in love with him, I just thought that part is a bit unbelievable and just a bit unnecessary. So that is one of my gripe complaint about this story. Now, before I end the video, I want to talk about the folklore and mythology of the Japanese cultures that are imbued in the story. So we know the main antagonists of the story are those warm, they call it the worms of natural disasters that when it touches the earth, earthquake will happen. And this is inspired by the Japanese folklore of Namazu. Namazu is basically like giant underground creatures, like they call it like catfish, and they cause earthquakes in the ground. And how they are sealed is they are sealed by putting keystones on it. Sounds familiar? Yes. And daijins or the keystones, I would think of them as the Japanese spirits like kami. And they are not the main antagonists of the story. I don't think they are evil. But because they're spirits and they're kami, they are willful creatures. You can't really rationalize with them. They do what they like. And I thought that part makes the story fun. Um, but there is also like touches of ideas of kami and Shinto gods there. Like in the Japanese culture, Japanese Shinto culture, the kami usually takes forms in the forms of like mountains, trees, rivers, like things that are important to life. And we see in the incantation that Shota uses as he closes it, he refers to these things as he closes the door. So I thought it's a cool touch to bring in that spiritual kami factor into the mythology, and it just makes it a little bit more magical, you know? And anyway, those are the things that really touches my heart as I watch Suzume no Tojimari. It's a movie with a lot of hidden layers to it. The details are interesting, but if we look at it, they are necessary and they really brought the message into a whole new level. So let me know what you think, and do you have any thoughts regarding Suzume? And anyway, thank you for watching. Please subscribe and comment if you like. Thank you. Bye bye.